In the hushed, dimly lit chambers of ancient history, there lies a story that stirs the soul and unsettles the mind. It is a tale of betrayal, vengeance, and divine intervention, set in the rugged landscapes of the ancient Near East. At its core is a family torn apart by the rawest of human emotions: anger, pride, and a deep-seated need for justice. This is the story of Jacob, his daughter Dinah, and the violent aftermath of her defilement. It is a story that resonates through the pages of the Bible, a narrative that speaks to the complexities of human nature and the often brutal consequences of our actions. The story begins with Dinah, the only daughter of Jacob and Leah. She is a young woman, curious and perhaps a bit naive, living in a world where the lines between right and wrong are often blurred by the harsh realities of survival. One day, Dinah ventures out of her father's camp and into the city of Shechem, where she encounters the prince of the land, also named Shechem. What happens next is a moment of intense violence and violation. Shechem, overcome by desire, takes Dinah and defiles her. The text is unflinching in its portrayal of this act, leaving no room for ambiguity or euphemism. Dinah is violated and her dignity is shattered. The news of this event quickly reaches Jacob and his sons, particularly Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers. Their reaction is swift and ferocious. The brothers are consumed by a desire for vengeance, a need to restore the honor of their family. They devise a plan that is both cunning and cruel. They approach Shechem and his father, Hamor, and propose a treaty. The terms are simple. If the men of Shechem agree to be circumcised, they can intermarry with Jacob's family, and the two groups can live in peace. It is a proposal that seems to offer a path to reconciliation. But it is a trap. The men of Shechem, led by their prince, agree to the terms. They undergo the painful rite of circumcision, a ritual that leaves them vulnerable and weakened. It is at this moment of vulnerability that Simeon and Levi strike. They enter the city, swords in hand, and begin a massacre. The text describes the carnage in stark terms. They kill every male in the city, including Shechem and Hamor. They then plunder the city, taking everything of value, including the women and children. The violence is brutal and unrelenting, a visceral expression of the brothers' rage and the need for retribution. Jacob, upon hearing of what his sons have done, is silent. His initial reaction is one of shock and dismay. He recognizes the extreme nature of their actions and the potential consequences. The phrase, "stirred up trouble," is a chilling understatement, suggesting that the brothers have not only avenged their sister, but have also created a dangerous situation for their entire family. The word used in Hebrew is akar, which means to uproot or to stir up. It is a metaphor that evokes the idea of muddying the waters, creating a chaotic and unstable environment. The brothers, however, are unrepentant. They defend their actions, arguing that they could not allow their sister to be treated like a whore. The language they use is crude and harsh, reflecting the intensity of their emotions. They see themselves as protectors of their family's honor, and they are willing to go to extreme lengths to defend it. The phrase, "like a whore," is particularly significant, as it reflects the deeply patriarchal and honor-based society in which they live. In this context, a woman's virtue is closely tied to the honor of her family, and any perceived violation of that virtue is seen as a grave insult that must be avenged. The story of Dinah and the massacre of Shechem is a pivotal moment in the narrative of Jacob and his family. It marks a turning point in Jacob's life, a moment where he is forced to confront the violent and vengeful tendencies of his sons. Jacob's silence is telling. It suggests a deep sense of helplessness and a recognition that the actions of his sons have consequences that he cannot control. The text notes that Jacob will later speak to his sons about this event, but only on his deathbed, suggesting that the incident continues to haunt him throughout his life. The aftermath of the massacre is a period of uncertainty and tension. Jacob, recognizing the danger they are in, decides to move his family. God commands him to go to Bethel, a place where he had previously received a divine revelation. This journey to Bethel is significant, as it represents a return to a place of spiritual significance and a recommitment to the covenant God has made with Jacob. It is a moment of renewal and reconnection, a way to seek God's protection and guidance in the face of the chaos that has enveloped their lives. At Bethel, Jacob instructs his household to put away the alien gods and to cleanse themselves. This act of purification is a response to the defilement that has occurred, not only in the physical sense, but also in the spiritual sense. The text emphasizes the theme of defilement and purification, a recurring motif that highlights the need for spiritual cleansing and renewal. Jacob's actions at Bethel are a way to re-establish a sense of order and sanctity, to cleanse the wounds of the past and prepare for a new beginning. The journey to Bethel is also marked by significant events in Jacob's family. Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, dies and is buried, a poignant reminder of the passage of time and the loss of the old guard. The death of Deborah is a minor but meaningful detail, a symbol of the changing dynamics within Jacob's household. As the old generation passes away, a new generation emerges, bringing with it new challenges and opportunities. At Bethel, God appears to Jacob again, reaffirming his promise and changing Jacob's name to Israel. This name change is a crucial moment in the narrative, as it symbolizes Jacob's transformation from a man who struggled with his brother to a patriarch of a nation. The name Israel means God contends, or God prevails, reflecting the idea that Jacob's struggles have been a part of a larger divine plan. God's promise to Jacob is expansive, encompassing the promise of a great nation, kings, and the land of Canaan. This reaffirmation of the covenant is a source of comfort and strength for Jacob, a reminder that despite the challenges and the violence of the past, God's plan for his family remains intact. The journey from Bethel continues, and the family faces new trials. Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, dies in childbirth, giving birth to their youngest son, Benjamin. Her death is a tragic and heart-wrenching moment, a reminder of the fragility of life and the pain of loss. Jacob's response is to set up a pillar in her memory, a physical marker of his grief, and a way to honor her memory. The name he gives to the child, Benjamin, is significant. It means son of the right hand or son of the south, reflecting Jacob's hope and love for his youngest son. The story of Jacob and his family is a complex and multifaceted narrative that explores themes of family, honor, violence, and divine intervention. It is a story that challenges our understanding of justice and morality, forcing us to confront the harsh realities of human nature. The massacre of Shechem is a brutal act of vengeance, but it is also a reflection of the deep-seated need for honor and the protection of one's family. Jacob's silence and his later actions at Bethel suggest a complex and nuanced response to the violence, a recognition of the need for both justice and spiritual renewal. In the end, the story of Jacob and his family is a testament to the enduring power of divine promise and the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the darkness and the violence, there is a sense of hope and renewal, a belief that God's plan will ultimately prevail. The journey to Bethel, the recommitment to the covenant, and the naming of Benjamin are all moments of light in the midst of darkness. They remind us that even in the face of the most difficult challenges, there is always a path forward, a way to find meaning and purpose in the midst of chaos. The story ends, but the lessons it teaches continue to resonate. It is a reminder that the path to justice and peace is often complex and fraught with challenges, but that it is a journey worth undertaking. The story of Jacob and his family is a story of human struggle and divine grace, a story that continues to speak to us across the ages.